it passes through the test piece, and after it reaching the back wall, it reflected signals are received by the same probe or the different probe. So when the signal is received by the same probe, it's called as a pulse echo mode. And when the signal is received by the another probe, which is situated on the other side of the test piece, it's called as a through transmission method. The main advantage of ultrasonic testing compared to other NDT techniques are high penetrating power, high sensitivity compared to other techniques, greater accuracy in terms of characterization of the defects, and different type of flaw can be differentiated and characterized with the greater accuracy compared to any other NDT technique. And mainly it is non-hazardous, unlike radiography. But conventional ultrasonic testing, it requires a manual operation. If one need to scan for larger area, probe has to be moved physically. And when the material is very highly attenuating or the anisotropic, sensitivity can be decreased for the larger depth. And since it utilizes a single element within the probe, so divergence of the beam can be observed for the larger thickness. So as we've seen here in the screen, for the larger depth, the divergence can be observed, very large divergence. So the sensitivity becomes poorer and poorer. So even in the general, for the weld inspection, conventional ultrasonics cannot be done due to the weld zone. It's almost parallel to your beam, ultrasonic beam. So focus and also focusing cannot be done using a normal beam. So it requires the wedge for the angle beam inspection. But using a wedge, it further decreases its transmission energy because due to the wedge itself and also the interface between the wedge and the material. Hence later on, the focusing to get the higher sensitivity, focusing can be achieved in 1952. The SAFT was developed. SAFT means synthetic aperture focusing technique. It's in early 1952 to improve the lateral resolution, where the synthetic antenna was focused at selected range of target location by producing a proper phase shift in the stored signal. So further, based on the beam divergence of the sound beam, the post-processing was carried out. So in SAFT, a single element it is fired and the same element is received. So during the post-processing, a reconstruction technique, which is based on the geometrical reflection or the phase acoustic model. For example, if you see in the picture, the transmission of an element starts from the first and then it is electronically moved till the last element. So then the time traveled from the to reach this defect, if you consider this as a flaw or the defect, the time reaching for this defect will be less when the probe is on the above of the defect. Whereas if we consider the left or right side, the time of flight will be larger. Hence, the defect signal will look like a parabolic signal as shown here. So during the reconstruction of these signals of the sound beams are time shifted or the back propagated to the scattering source. That means all these signals are shifted to the one reference point, and then it is averaged out and summed up using the wave propagation formula. Hence, amplitude or sensitivity of the flaw location is highly improved during the averaging. So, yeah. So the uniform sound focusing effect can be seen throughout the test specimen. Hence, your signal to noise ratio will be improved, and also lateral coverage and the resolution also improved using the SAFT method. but in case of disadvantaged size, due to the limited number of signals, side lobe or artifacts were found in many research articles. And sound beam focusing also done by another method. It's called phased array. In early 1950s, phased array imaging was developed for clinical investigation and UT diagnosis. Phased array ultrasonic technique moved from medical field to industrial sector at the beginning of 1980s. So by the beginning of 1990s, phased array technology was incorporated as a new advanced phased array NDT method in ultrasonics. So phased array ultrasonic technique is one of the most advanced technique in ultrasonic technique testing. The main feature of phased array ultrasonic technique is computer controlled excitation of individual elements. So the excitation of elements can generate ultrasonic beam with the possibility of by modifying the beam parameters like angle, focusing point, focal distance through the software. So the main acquisition sound system, it is emitting from this acquisition unit, and then it is connected to the phased array unit. It is based on the time delays. The ultrasonic beam will transmit to the test specimen, and then opposite delay laws are given, and that signal is summed up in the same phased array unit, and then it is received by the probe. The main concept of phased array is the probe mainly consists of array of probe. It consists of series of several single elements, which will cover the increase its inspection and coverage and speed, etc. So transmission of the probe, it consists of individual elements. Individual elements in which the ultrasonic wave or the small wavefront can be time delayed and synchronized in phase or in amplitude in such a way as it creates a different modes of beam. Like you can see here, for example, two wavefronts are generated here. So you will get in phase in this green color position. So if we increase number of elements or the number of wavefronts, you will get different in-phase combinations. So you can get the beam focusing nature. Like if you see here in the beam focusing animation, the start and last elements are first transmitted, and the middle one, it is later transmitted, so that you will get a desired position, the focused beam. In case of beam steering, it's a linear delay are applied. So in this animation, you can see first transmission is done by the first element, and then it is the last element, so that at the focal point, all the elements are in, it will be in phase at this position. So on the reception side, the waveform signals are received by each element. The opposite time delay law is applied, hence the signals are captured. Next is different transducer types in phased arrays. Transducer consists of series of small elements. The series of small elements of piezoelectric material, it is assembled in the single blocks as we seen here. The connector cables, the connection point for the connector cables to the instrument, it is located outside the casing. And the baking material, a block of material with a high impedance to damp the vibration of the transducer, as we seen here in the green colors. And connecting lines, it connects the each element to the electronic device that it controls it. And adapter stretch, that as shown here, it's optimized the transmission of the acoustic waves in the material, and it protects the probe from the damage and the wear. The main geometric characteristics of linear array, as shown here, E is the element width, the width of single piezoelectric element, which varies from 0.5 to 2.5 mm, and the gap, it's a gap between the two adjacent elements, and the pitch, it's a combination of element width and the gap, and n is the total number of elements. There are different types of phased array probes are available uh, in such that they are a contact phased array probes, immersion phased array probes, and contact plus using a wedge. It's mainly used for the angle beam inspection. So the image representation, how these received signals are imaged and how you will represent it. So ultrasonic views are imaged by different plane views, namely like A scan, B scan, and the C scan. A scan, it's a representation of amplitude versus time of flight. It's a representation of a received signal where you can see in the animations. For example, this is a sample or the specimen, which is having a small projection in the middle. So when we place a probe here, and then you transmit the beam, so you will get the signal from the backwall echo that can be seen here with the lower amplitude. So it can A scan signal can be displayed in a RF mode, or it's a radio frequency mode, or the bipolar rectified signal. It's a basic representation of ultrasonic waveform in the data. In conventional ultrasonic testing, mainly A scans are represented. So in the B scan image, if you consider the probe, if you move the probe, this in a one direction, you are able to see the backwall echo from each position. So if you get the backwall, if you get now the signal from the projection, so you will get here with the lesser depth, you will get the signal in the B scan images. Likewise, you will move the probe till the end. So B-scan, it's a 2D view of recorded ultrasonic data. It's a collection of all the A-scans data. It is stacked together, provides an end view of a test piece along the single axis. So C-scan is nothing but it's a 2D dimensional representation of the data displayed as a top or the planar view of a test specimen. So this can be obtained by the raster scan as we see in the animation. So it moves like it moves in a one direction, and then again it moves in the opposite direction. Likewise, you will get the C-scan images. So like this, in the all the phased array modes, you will have these three representation as a imaging representation. So based on the time delays in the pulsation, one can alter the interference process between the elementary waves. Thus, there are three computer controlled beam scanning is possible in phased array ultrasonic testing. So the namely, it's electronic scanning, where in the electronic scanning, you have a set of delay loss. It is applied to a group of active elements as shown in the green color, and then it is electronically moved till the last element within the probe, and then it is focused to the one particular point, and on the reception side you will get the opposite time delay loss. In the dynamic depth focusing, scanning is performed here. The scanning is performed with the different focal depth using the same aperture or using same active elements. Unlike in the E-scan method, you will have a set of few elements, but in the dynamic depth focusing or in the multi-point focusing, you will be having a whole aperture as an active aperture. So you can vary the focal depth according to your applications. In sectorial scan, this is another method. where it's also called as a azimuthal or the angular scan, and the beam is swept for a particular angle using the same active group of elements, or it can be electronically moved till the last element within the probe. And here focusing and steering also done simultaneously. So in the weld material inspections, mainly sector scan is used. So the main advantage of electronic scanning is due to the delay is multiplexed. So across a group of elements, physical movement can be avoided during the scanning. So one need not to move the probe during the large inspection. In DDF, it avoids the beam divergence, hence loss of acoustic energy will be less at the larger thickness inspection. In SCAN, wedge material can be avoided for the angular inspection, as we've seen in the conventional ultrasonic testing. We were using a wedge material in order to send the beam at a particular angle, but here you need not to use the wedge. Hence, loss in the acoustic energy through the wedge can be avoided. And weld inspection can be easily done by sweeping and focusing at particular locations. So the concept of near field distance. So when the single element transducer emits the ultrasonic beam, the sound wave generates where the beam travels in a straight line till the one focus point. So it's called as, this region is called as the near field distance. These in conventional and phased array ultrasonic testing, the near field distance can be calculated by using these formulas. It's mainly depend upon your near field distance, probe length, aperture size, diameter, frequency, velocity, etc. And if the sound beam is no longer in the near field region, and then the beam will no longer in a straight line. So beam diameter gets increases, then beam divergence can be seen. So this region is called as a far field region. So it's in the most of the application, by knowing the flaw position, this focusing point can be set by varying these parameters n, d, l, k, lambda, etc. So some of the specific modes, advanced modes in phased array are shown here. So the unisequential law, it utilizes a full aperture of the phase of the array, and electronic scanning, as I said, like it utilizes a small aperture and then it is focused to the desired depth. And in plane wave imaging, full matrix capture, and dynamic depth focusing, these are the advanced method. Later in later slides, I'll explain in detail. But in plane wave imaging, it involves a one transmission pattern and together with the one reception pattern without any null, delay loss. It's called as a null delay loss. And then it is steered at different angles. In full matrix capture, mainly the transmission is occurred by one single element and reception is done by all the elements. So in the expert mode, in the dynamic depth focusing method, you will do the transmission at one delay law for a particular depth, where in case of reception is done by individual delay laws, several delay laws are utilized. In expert mode, it's a user-friendly mode, but it's a very advanced technique, which are these modes are in a very few phased array systems you will be getting. So in expert mode, you can play your own focal loss. You can develop your own focal loss. So that's one more advanced mode. So yeah, on one application where I want to show the failure of conventional ultrasonic testing. So we can have we inspected titanium alloy calibration blocks, or of having the flat bottom holes of 10 mm depth, which is situated in 20, 40, and 60 mm depth. Raj, can I hear? Am I audible?
Yeah, audible, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So we have inspected with the conventional ultrasonic testing, and two material conditions were taken. It's a low noise and the medium noise specimens. If we consider here the A-scan signal, this is the defect signal when the probe is kept here, when probe is placed here, you will get the signal from the top tip, from the flat bottom holes, and from the backhole echo from here. So this is the signal from 20 mm depth. We can able to get the very good sensitivity of this defect. And when we move the probe and place it over here, and you will get still a good SNR value from this defect. As we move further to the 60 mm depth flat bottom holes, the sensitivity gets poorer, but still you can able to detect the defect. As in case of medium noise specimen, we were able to get the defect signals clearly for the 20 and 40, but as we go for larger and larger depth, in this case, you will never get the defect signal at all. So where here you can see the conventional ultrasonic testing, it's failed. So later on, dynamic depth focusing can be utilized for detecting the defect at larger depth. So dynamic depth focusing, or DDF, it's based on the ability of varying the focal law electronically and at the receiving side during the single acquisition cycle. On the transmission, as we see in the picture here, the beam is emitted and focused to the center of the area, and then the focus point will changes only during the reception, as we seen here clearly. During the reception, it sets the focal distance from one region to another region. So during the reception, the return signal has been progressively delayed with the different focal loss in order to move the receiving focal point here from the initial position to the final position. So using 32 elements aperture, during the transmission, we focused nearly 40 mm depth, and while the reception side, we kept the initial and final position of the focal point. It's from 10 to 75 mm depth. So we could able to get in both low noise and medium noise titanium calibration log all the defect signals with a high sensitivity. As we've seen here, this is the defect signal from 20, 40, and 60 mm depth, and this is the corresponding the step backward echoes from these step signals, as we've seen here clearly. And this are from the multiple reflection from the first flat bottom holes and from the first step backward echoes. So this shows clearly DDF gives better sensitivity and SNR compared to the conventional ultrasonic testing. So unlike your E-scan or the electronic scanning, focused region, it gets extended in DDF as shown here, where you will get throughout this region, focal zone, the higher sensitivity. If the defect is present here, you will get the higher sensitivity of the flow. So in case this is the beam profile I have done in the computation for single element to just to show how the divergence signals will appear in the single element as well as in the E-scan mode. So in the single element, you can see there is no like focused signal or focused defect signal are seen. All the beam defect signals are diverged very with a very large divergence you can able to see here. Whereas in case of electronic scanning, you will focus to the desired depth. So I focus here and reception is done with the same active number of elements. Apart from this region, you will see the diverged signal for all the defects. So your sensitivity gets reduced. In case of dynamic depth focusing, you will get the throughout the defect region, you will get the very high sensitivity as well as the focused defect images in the B-scan. So we can also focus individually in transmission itself. Not in DDF here, as I said previously, you can focus individually on reception side, but we can also focus individually at different depths and in the transmission side itself, and real imaging can be possible by multi-point focusing technique. For example, the same titanium calibration blocks I have taken for the inspection, and it was acquired for by 32 elements by focusing 20, 40, and 60. It requires 3 different visualization windows, and all the defect signals from low noise and high medium noise specimen, titanium specimen, could be able to detect clearly with the high sensitivity. But this method, it's not so practical to use because beam it slow down its pulse repetition frequency, and also it increase the amount of storage data storages. So in all the standard acquisition process, the raw element signals are processed by hardware level. It was not available for the offline software post-processing. So later on in 2004, Holmes and Drink Water et al., they studied extensive study was carried out by acquiring FMC, full matrix capture total focusing method. So FMC involves by capturing and recording all the possible combinations of time domain signals from each and every transmission reception pair. So in this animation, it shows that one element is transmitted and all element is received. So the data is acquired by using transmit one and all the elements reception on all approach. The process repeats until the last element have transmitted, and then it generates a complete set of n square data. So during the post processing, total focusing method proceeds by first discretizing these target region into very small grids, and then the signals from all the elements in an array are summed up to synthesize a focus at every point in the grid. Similar to your, as I said previously in the SAFT post-processing, the similar way TFN post-processing is done. So this is a multi-2000 MTN software phase duration system which shows the raw signals of a post for FMC data. CFM algorithm can be written in the LabVIEW software. In the most of the instruments, phase instruments, previously they were not having the TFM itself in the software itself. So we need to process it by writing our own algorithm. So this shows here it's a coding in the LabVIEW, coding written in the LabVIEW software. It shows the TFM images, and later on in many of the phaser instruments, direct TFM image can be generated, as seen here. This is the GECO system, which is purchased from Edify technology. So it shows the TFM image for the arc-shaped flywheel holes, which are of 2 mm dia. So the main drawback of this FMC TFM technique, it's a single element acquisition. Due to this, acoustic energy transmission gets weaker for larger depth, Hence, a combination of few elements, as we seen here in the beam profile, uh, the transmission energy it only shows up to 20 depth. So for the larger depth, you are not getting enough acoustic energy. So later on, a combination of few elements are considered for transmission, which provides a virtual source very near to the surface, and it's like a point source from the single transmission. Then the signal get diverges that can be utilized for the post-processing method. Hence, your beam divergence. This is the virtual source, and after that you will get the diverged beam signal, but the acoustic energy it now goes for the larger area. But as I said, for the weld inspection, normal beam virtual source or normal beam ESFMC cannot be utilized, because probe you cannot, if you see the weld material, there in the weld region, above the weld region, you will get the weld cap. So you cannot keep the probe on top of the weld region, and also for the larger depth, and also it's almost the beam, it is parallel to your weld region, so you cannot uh, detect it by using a normal beam inspection. Hence, angle beam VSFMC TFM method has been developed by us. So where a few elements are considered for the transmission, and then it is focused very near to the surface, and with the desired angle, we are transmitting the wavefront. Hence, you will get the intended directivity with the large divergence. Then you can sweep the beam throughout the weld region. So, and in all the cases, reception is done by all the elements like FMC method. So post processing is done by TFM approach. So this is one case where the inspection was carried out on alloy 617. It's an Inconel block. Calibration blocks are of 200 depth, thickness, where the vertical slots, 6 vertical slots are placed at different placed in this manner, and one horizontal slots are at 150 depth, and it all are of almost 25 depth. So if we see here in this, this is the B scan, and this is the corresponding A scan signal for FMC TFM. As we've seen in the B scan image, you can see up to 50 depth, you could able to get the defect signal clearly. As we go for larger depth, you'll never detect the defect itself. And in case of normal beam ESFMC TFM method, you were able to get the defect signal clearly up to 100 Because of the shadowing effect, you're not able to get the defect detection very clearly. In case of angle beam ESFMC TFM, you are able to get the top and bottom tip signals from both the from all the defect signal, even the horizontal defect, we were able to get the top and bottom tip signal clearly. So it shows the advantage of angle beam ESFMC TFM. Another method, coherent plane wave imaging, has been recently been suggested as an advanced phased array technique. In plane wave imaging, as I said earlier, all the elements are excited at the same time, and after that you will sweep the beam for your desired angles. So imaging of the post processing is done by TFM method in this case also. The main advantage of this technique are high acoustic energy is transmitted into the specimen, and fast computation than FMC TFM, and storage is becoming less compared to FMC TFM. So we compared all the advanced techniques. It's a SMCTSM focus sector scan. That means you are focusing to the desired depth using a sector scan. And this is the plane wave imaging. And this is from angle beam vs SMCTSM. These are all the B scan image and corresponding A scan signals. So if we see in case of, and these data are required for different gain settings. So if we see in FMC TSM, only the near surface up to 50 mm depth could be detected clearly, whereas in case of plane wave imaging TSM, SSS, and angle beam vs FMC TSM, all the defects could be able to detect it clearly with a high sensitivity. Where in case of SSS, if the defect is unknown location, then focusing at larger number of points is required. Hence, inspection becomes very slow, so it is ruled out. Then, in case of plane wave imaging TSM, it requires 64 active elements. We could able to achieve the same sensitivity. So if you see this plot, sensitivity plot, this the magenta color shows the plane wave imaging. Oh, sorry, it's SAFT. Okay, yeah, it's basically plane wave imaging should be there. Okay, yeah, if you see here in the SNR case, normal beam inspection, I think I have not incorporated for the plane wave imaging. It's okay, fine. But if you see here in the A-scan signals, you with the 64 number of elements, you could able to get the sensitivity similar to that of your angle beam VSF and CTSM with the same gain setting. But in angle beam VSF and CTSM, you will require only the 8 elements for the transmission. So your data storage will be less. And in case, if you're comparing all the techniques, the blue color indicates for different offsets also measured using angle beam VSF and CTSM. It shows the amplitude and SNR almost, it's 20 dB and SNR almost 6 dB improvement compared to your standard FMCTSM method. And also using angle beam VSF and CTSM, you could characterize the defect, measure the depth of the defect, height of the defect, as we've seen here, and this is theoretically matched with the physical value of your of our defect. So the main advantages of phased array ultrasonic technique are the inspection using phased array. It's a very fast, flexible, and easy for the inspection. Electronic scanning and sectorial scan, it covers a larger area without any physical movement of the probe. And phased array can inspect complex geometries and higher sensitivity SNR and resolution compared to your conventional ultrasonic testing, and improve visual representation in terms of 2D or 3D imaging and real inspection. And also you can do the inspection on the hidden areas. So the main disadvantage of phased array ultrasonic techniques are the initial cost equipment. It's a very high. It's almost as I showed in the previous M2M system. It's almost it's a 2 crore instruments, and even the probes are in lakhs. So, and also the complexity of using a calibration, and you need a skilled operators. And in general, phased array methods are difficult to use very thin materials, and post-processing sometimes it takes time consuming. So now I'll show some of the peak NDT instruments which we have developed in our company. This is a MicroPulse 5A phased array instrument. It has a 16 conventional channels, and yeah, it has a 16 conventional channels, and the probe 128, 64 into 128 probe, phased array probe, which have a receiver and transmitter. And it also allows user to carry out the the pulse echo and the time of flight diffraction technique inspection without compromising any data quality. Yeah. It's also have a FMC data acquisition mode. The software it is yeah, this video it shows phase micropulse 5 instrument, and it is connected to the here with the wedge, and scanning with the sector scan. Now you can able to get the sidewheel holes defect in the B scan image as we shown clearly. And this is the software which is used the Aragon, and it is also can be used by MIPS or guide. And user can also write their own program in LabVIEW or MATLAB to acquire the data. So it's a user friendly. So here, as we seen in the front panel, this is the Aragon software we developed. So where you can set the parameters here, like a pro parameters like element pitch or number of elements, and the wedge specifications. And this is the sample specification. You can write the geometry, so the velocity of the sample, etc. And this shows the focal law parameters where you can set the electronic scan or the sector scan or FMC mode. You can select from this. And next is the gain setting. So yeah. I'm just clicking here and now move the probe to the very left corner of the specimen so that you can able to see the backward echo. So these are all the backward echoes you can able to see. And again, I'm moving back so that you can get the defect signal clearly. Yeah, this is the sector scan, which is transmitted with the 35 to, I suppose, 65 with the angle. And next I'll change the calibration blocks where it shows the sidewheel holes which are situated, it is placed in the arc manner of 1 mm dia. So this shows the laptop front screen shows the A scan and B scan signals of sidewheel holes. The probe, I have not kept the wedge. Without wedge, I'm doing the sector scan from -10 to 80-degree angle. So you will get and focus to this depth, so you can able to get the defect signal clearly in the B scan image. The another phase array instruments we developed very recently. It's a LTPS, which have the a very high have a very high performance, flexible component rug, and also lightweight for the inspection. And this instrument is available with the 32 by 32 or 32 by 64 or 64 by 64 or 64 by 128 channels option. So, and also all the LTPA models, we have 2 conventional channels as shown here. I'll just start the video. So these are all the conventional, and this is the phase array probe which is connected here. And now I am inspecting this area. So these are all the sidewheel holes situated in the diagonal manner. And just I'm connecting with the USB cable from the instrument to the laptop. This is the front panel where it shows in the B scan image all the defect signal with a very high sensitivity, and this is the A scan signal. So this is the signals we are acquired. The same parameters we can set here clearly. So now the resolution is a bit good, I think. These are all the pro parameters you can set here. The wedge now I am not using, so I have not given. This is the focal parameters, and next it will go for the gain setting. You can set as per your application. And these are all the some conventional equipment, LT2, micropulse LT and MPLT. And these are all the phased array equipments, micropulse, just I shown in these two in the videos. And these are all mainly used for pipeline grip weld inspection or in the research and development or in the gantry system, in situ monitoring, etc. So you can go to our website, which is here. Yeah, just you can type PKNDT UK, so you'll get this products like phased array, conventional, and full matrix capture. You can go to this and you can get the every individual instrument details here. So yeah, phased array mainly nowadays it's like applicable in every industrial field like corrosion mapping, or in the nuclear field where you can inspect the radiography, you can inspect the thick weld specimen, dissimilar weld inspection, or the tube inspections, pipeline inspections, or even in the medical field. You might have seen during the pregnancy test, they will keep the sensor on the stomach, where they will apply some gel. It's basically a couplant, and then you can able to see the on the screen the child's picture. That's mainly a sector scan. And also in the aerospace industries, for the inspection of turbine shaft, rotor, etc., they can done, and these inspection can be done by mainly in using phased array ultrasonic test techniques. So yeah, this is all about phased array testing. Thank you for listening, and thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you one and all. And if any queries, welcome to ask.
Participants can ask if have queries.
Yeah, if any queries, please ask. No issue.
Participants can ask the queries if they have. Chat box. That's the number of elements. Chat box. Does size and number of elements depends on geometry of profile of scan?
Sorry.
Narendra Sani asking, does size and number of elements depends on geometry of profile of scan?
Can you explain a bit more, Narendra? The size and number of elements on the geometry of the profile scan? Yes, it depends. Based on your geometry, like based on your whether it is a tube, or whether it is a thick component, or whether it's a thin component, based on that you will select a number of elements. So the mainly aperture size varies on based on your applications. Yeah.
And if it is a very small radius, very small profile. Am I audible?
Your voice is breaking, sorry.
Hello?
Yeah. For the smaller tube, in the sense, what thickness you will be you want in your application? Up to 2 mm, up to 2 mm you can measure, like more than 2 mm you can measure with phased array, even in the conventional ultrasonic testing. For 1 mm, it's you can use it really with the eddy current technique. It's mainly for the very smaller techniques. You can use eddy current. Yeah, it may be possible, but you can use with the conventional UT.
Any queries there? Participants?
What are the different NDT method are available in similar to ultrasonic testing in order to identify the defect like delamination, etc. Yeah, the bonding between the two specimens you can very well you can do with the conventional ultrasonic as well as even with the phased array. Other NDT technique, radiography, I think it is possible. You can go through articles also, the bonding natures. I think Anish et al. You can just type, Google it out. You can get the papers, articles regarding bonding and debonding. Even for the polymer composite, you can able to do the inspection using phased arrays. It depends upon your thickness, how much thickness. Mainly dissimilar metal joining for aluminum steel. You can do it with the phased arrays, not with the conventional. It depends upon still your thickness of the material. 1 mm steel, I don't think so. With the 1 mm thickness, you can able to do the ultrasonic. Very well, you can do with the eddy current, I suppose. Yeah. Thank you. Any queries?
Any queries there? Which NDT?
I think eddy current you can go through. It's a comfortable technique for the very smaller thickness. Because last week we were trying to get the defect signal from 5 mm thick specimens, steel specimens. We could able to get the defect signal. We could able to get the backhaul echo, but as we go for the thinner and thinner, in the LabVIEW software, what we have written, but the differentiation between the front ringing depth zone and the backhaul echo, it's very small. So it's difficult to find out with the even with the conventional ultrasonic testing. So you can try with the eddy current.
What is the approximate price?
Oh, sorry.
Someone asked, what is the approximate price?
Which size you're asking? I'm not
Approximate
size. I didn't get.
Nakum. So Kumar, can you ask your questions again? Which instrument you asking the price? Nukum. Nukum is there?
Raj, can you read out the questions for him? What he has written.
Mr. Nukum, you have written a question in which you are asking about the approximate price, but we are not sure about which item you are asking.
Which price you are asking about the phased array?
We are trying to reach him to ask him what exactly he's asking. So
yeah, which price you are asking? Which phased array instrument price you are asking?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is for very informative lecture.
That I got, but he was asking about the price. I think if it is
not replied, he's not replied now.
Okay. Yeah, I think the price of phased arrays, it depends. You need to give the quotation, means you need to approach the company and they will give the quotation. So based on that, you can get the price. So in our company, I really doesn't know what is the price. So
Okay.
if you need any phased arrangements or conventional, you just go through the website and you just contact them. They will give the price, the marketing people. So I'm in the software field, so I may not be knowing the exact price. So thank
Right.
you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Anna.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, participants. That's all for today. Have a great evening.